himself as a villain. And somehow, in a sadistic way, claimed that he loved Ray despite doing that. Zelina tried to break it up, but all Santos did was walk away. Then he reminded her how they built LWO together. As they come back from the commercial, Santos looked like he was walking out with his suitcase as Kathy asked him why he did what he did. He tells her Ray had it coming as he stormed off and left the arena. They showed highlights from the Women's Championship match at Crown Jewel. The most surprising thing was how they used Kairi Sane to spitting mist in Bianca Belair's eyes. And I'm still curious to see where they're gonna go with this, because I thought that was the signal that this was the beginning of the end of Judgment Day. No, not Judgment Day. I'm sorry, Damage Control. Dakota Kai let Bayley know that they were grateful for what she had done for them, but bringing in Kairi Sane was a way to take the pressure off of Bayley. And as they're close to bringing solidarity to this, Bianca Belair came out. Then Charlotte Flair's music hit, and she came out, along with Shotzi, I believe. So I do remember seeing that. Yeah, so it was Bianca Belair, Charlotte, and Shotzi. Okay. Excuse me. Hello?
Go back to sleep, Boo. My phone is messing up.
Okay.
Sorry.
Alright. Bye. Okay, there's there was another advertisement on Peacock, so have to wait to see. Have to wait for that to finish. Okay. Right. So, coming back from the commercial break, and they announced Grayson Waller against LA Knight for later on in the show. Red. All about this match right here, Lashley against Carlito. "27 seconds left of the advertisement here on Peacock. So, now I do remember this because I remember thinking they got Kevin Owens wearing a red, white, and blue tie, and I don't understand why they had him. I understand why they had him wear a tie, but I didn't understand why it was red, white, and blue. They show a progressive match flow, which is like what we used to call in the Ruthless Aggression era, Slam of the Week or Move of the Week. And it happened to be what happened at Crown Jewel. And read about that too. Let's see. And what I forgot up until this very second was that Asuka, we didn't know what side she was on, so she ended up being a tag team partner for Charlotte and Bianca Belair, and I believe she had sprayed mist to one of their faces to not only turn on them, but to show that she was a part of Damage Control because of Kyrie and the women's champion Io. By the way, as we're waiting, I just wanted to announce this. On YouTube, I'm gonna start talking about. I've never done this before, so I'm gonna do it on YouTube. I'm gonna start talking about the 1980s TV show episodes. I believe it's Prime Time, they called it, or just Prime. And the reason I always wanted to see that was I always wanted to see but what led to the stories and the matches at, in this case, be WrestleMania 3, because that's what they have uploaded in the show. Then, of course, what led to WrestleMania 4 and 5 and so forth. And I figured what better way to get back into into my old schedule of podcasting than to talk about shows I always wanted to see, and then talk about the pay-per-views, because I never, even though I spoke about some of these pay-per-views, I never spoke about the shows that led up to them, so I figured it's a good way to refresh myself. Now, I think that the match here, after the commercial break was over, was Cedric Alexander and Dragon Lee. Well, I'm not really surprised at how well Cedric Alexander did, but what I'm really amazed at was how they let him show how good he is. So up to this point, there's a lot of people on SmackDown that they haven't really let show how good they are. There's a lot of people they have handcuffed for I don't know if it's many years, but at least for a few years that they've been there. There's a few like Cedric Alexander, like I'll just say it like this: a lot of the people that they brought in, along with Cedric Alexander for Cruiserweight Classic, when they decided to not only revive the Cruiserweight division, but to add a network show that eventually got canceled because I think they were running out of ideas of how to use the Cruiserweights. But what I like that they've been doing with NXT is exactly like what Triple H's vision for NXT has always been, a territory. And so sometimes it can be a little confusing if you don't know what the premise of it is, but Dragon Lee has been primarily Raw and SmackDown, or just SmackDown. Primarily supposed to be on SmackDown, but they let him go to NXT and become the North American champion. And in the old days when my dad used to not only watch wrestling but go to the live shows in where we live in Mid-South days, that's what they would do. They would let their talent go from Mid-South to other areas. And that's what this is reminding me of, so I like it. And I can only hope that the territory system becomes popular again, because when you had a territory system, you had 4 or 5 states instead of going through into all 50 states and being national, where let's face it, it could be very difficult to at times. That's a lot to do with why people either forget their quote lines or what they're supposed to say or do. A lot of it could be not just because of how often the scripts were rewritten, but because of how long and how many days they have to travel. So that's why I think a territory system is beneficial to not just the company, but to the entire industry as a whole. Dragon Lee just took down his right knee pad to get hit with a Michinoku. I think it's Michinoku driver, I believe. It is Michinoku. gets a 2-count right there. I just thought I'd mention that.